Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from My Stand Gamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at another beautiful Steam Workshop creation. Now this one has been built by Hilltop, and it is the MAW Armed Reclamation Vehicle. Now just looking at these teeth, you can see that we've got so many grinders on here, just grinder after grinder on each one of these arms. We've got two larger arms that wrap around whatever it's going to grind, and then we've got two smaller ones. The only problem I see with this ship in any sort of function is that it relies heavily on these very weak sort of rotor joints, even though the rotors are piped up with conveyors, so everything that you grind away will be sucked into the back of the ship. So now that we've had a quick look at the two arms, we'll actually have a look at the central pit in the middle. So you can see this is large enough to actually suck in a really large ship. Just look at the arms sort of spread that we've got there between that area as they close down. We'll have a go at grinding something in a minute. We'll just continue looking around the design. So we've got some red lights, there's a bit of ambient mood lighting. And then we go to the sort of bulb area at the back. That reminds me a bit of like a spider or an octopus, where all the actual materials are stored that you've grinded away. So this is a great sort of pirating vessel in many ways. Maybe not the lead of the pirate fleet, but something that can come in afterwards and scrap up all the useless parts of them ships that you're scavenging across. Now looking at the actual design itself, you can see that we've got this bulb shape that rotates around the back, and just look how it really sleekly comes in around these hydrogen thrusters, and on top of that, tucked nicely in the middle is a remote control block surrounded by a number of rocket pods, so this thing can also deal out a bit of hurt. And what's also quite interesting is how it's been combined with hydrogen for that extensive sort of extra little bit of boost, as well as standard ion thrusters as well. So coming along to what I like to consider the bottom of the ship, we have two hangar bay doors. So let's just whip up inside them for the moment. We'll have a quick look what's going on in here. So in here we have two pods, so you could have a smaller ship, maybe a smaller reclamation vehicle stored up inside here. If I actually just turn my light on it, I'll make it a little bit brighter for you guys. So you can see that all weld up, fix whatever's in here, so fix even some more of your scavenging ships. And going to the other side, we've also got the exact same here as well, another little pod. So a very nice little idea of using some extra space aboard the ship. So if we go up to the top, we're actually going to have a quick look at the bridge. So the bridge itself is really simple. We've got ourselves a nice little seat there. We've got the stairs that lead to the lower bank, or the lower sort of deck area that actually takes you outside the ship itself. So let's actually activate a few of these buttons. So if we hit 2, you'll start to see some of the claws actually closing. So that's the two larger claws on both sides, and they'll slowly apply pressure. We can also turn our grinders on, so you can see them spinning up to actually grinding speed, and you can also control it with number 3 as well. So number 3 will control the smaller arms, and just look at the sort of clamping motion that we get with that. All them grinders are now coming together, and it basically becomes a completely different ship of a different sort of size and different shape that I quite like as well. But the actual factor of whatever's in there has just been eaten to death by these grinders. We'll have to open up both of the arms once again by pressing 2 and 3. So let's see if them arms are actually opening up. Maybe we need to hit 2 again. Now they seem to be opening up, and we'll find ourselves a nice little ship from in my inventory to have a grind at. So our first victim that we're going to test out is my standard sort of alien dropship that actually looks really small in the actual jaws of this absolute monster of a ship. So we're going to get into the cockpit view, and we're going to actually get into our spectator camera, and we've actually got one of the arms coming down already. I must have hit one of the buttons. So let's hit 2, let's hit 3, and see if we can get them arms coming down and make sure all them grinders are actually on. See what actually happens here. So it's hit the top, the bottom's still moving up. It looks like it's clamping in on the ship itself as it breaks as part of the ship. The bottom teeth haven't yet come up yet. Oh yeah, they actually have. They seem to be pressing on the bottom part of the ship. Disassembling this quite fast, so if I actually had a little bit of thrust to this situation, will it allow me to get this ship in further? It looks like some of the arms have actually opened up. We might have pushed it a little bit too far apart here. So I need to realign myself. Oh my god, all the arms are going crazy. Please don't say they've snapped off or something worse. So there we go, they're reattaching themselves. The bottom is doing most of the grinding at the moment because it looks like we've misaligned ourselves with the ship. So if we go back to the cockpit and just see if we can realign ourselves. So if we adjust right a little bit and then maybe crush ourselves and push ourselves a little bit forward, we might be able to grind away a little bit better. No, it doesn't look like that. It looks like we're struggling, so we're going to have to reopen up both the jaws. See if we can do that. The thing is, with the rotor lock on this, it means that the jaws really need to be aligned quite precisely so we get a good cut. So we'll come down a little bit, try to realign ourselves. not too much, and that bottom one's going to snap onto the top. So let's hit 2 and 3 quite quickly, and also bring it forward ever so slightly. So let's see if that does a little bit of a better job. Oh, look at that, the teeth of that thing eating away at it. Both sides are going in now. Top and bottom are coming up for the close as well. So it's going to be completely sandwiched and basically hit from both sides with grinders. So you can see the design of this as they've got multiple sort of grinders at different levels. So as it cuts in, it's supposed to cut in at an angle. But since the ship is not completely level, the problem that it's going to have here is it'll only start working when them points actually get up to meet the other point. So there we go. It's snacking on this thing extremely fast now at the moment. I think it's going to have this disabled or completely broken up and broken down in seconds, really. Very nice indeed. We've lost one of the pods going off to the side. Maybe it needs some way of better holding it in place as it's doing this. Only a few parts actually remaining now of the ship. The jaws are nearly completely closed. Some of these parts are being pushed actually out and away from the grinders. So we've got a few loose parts. Very nice for a reclamation vehicle. Let's actually open up the jaws once again now, since it looks like we've eaten most of this ship that was left. Very nice indeed. Completely destroyed it. I think that's easily under a minute.